Welcome to a journey through the enchanting world of the most beautiful castles in the United States. From coast to coast, these majestic fortresses stand as testaments to history, architecture, and the enduring allure of fairy tales brought to life. 1. Biltmore Estate, Asheville, North Carolina. The Biltmore Estate is like a giant castle from Europe, but in America. It's a huge mansion surrounded by beautiful nature. Imagine big gardens and tall trees all around. It even has its own winery where they make tasty wine. People visit from all over to see its grandeur. Inside, there are rooms filled with fancy furniture and decorations. Each room tells a story from the past. The ceilings are so high, you might feel like you're in a palace. Outside, the gardens are like a colorful paradise. Flowers of all shapes and sizes bloom in every corner. You can stroll through paths lined with trees and admire the beauty of nature. There's so much to explore on the estate. You could spend hours walking around and still not see everything. It's like stepping into a fairy tale. If you ever get the chance, visiting the Biltmore Estate is a must-do experience. 2. Bold Castle, Thousand Islands, New York. On Hart Island in the Thousand Islands, there's a special castle that's really impressive. It has big fancy buildings and lovely gardens all around. Imagine walking through those gardens with flowers everywhere. The castle is like a giant puzzle made of stone, with towers and turrets sticking out. It looks like something from a storybook. People come from far and wide to see its grandeur. Inside, the rooms are filled with old-timey furniture and decorations. It feels like stepping back in time. You can almost imagine kings and queens walking through the halls. From the castle, you can see the river stretching out in all directions. It's a breathtaking view, and if you're lucky, you might even spot some boats passing by. Exploring this castle is like going on a big adventure. You never know what you'll discover around the next corner. 3. Hearst Castle, San Simeon, California. Long ago, a rich man named William Randolph Hearst owned a huge estate that's like a castle. It's super fancy with amazing buildings and lots of art. Imagine walking through rooms filled with beautiful paintings and sculptures. The architecture of the castle is really something to see. It's like a masterpiece made of stone and marble. There are towers and domes that reach up to the sky. The estate has big gardens and grounds all around. You can wander through them for hours, taking in the beauty of nature. It's like being in a fairy tale. Mr. Hearst loved collecting things, so there are treasures everywhere you look. From ancient artifacts to fancy furniture, there's something interesting in every corner. Visiting this castle is like stepping into the past. You can almost imagine what life was like for Mr. Hearst and his family. It's a place filled with history and wonder. 4. Singer Castle, Thousand Islands, New York. In the Thousand Islands area, there's another castle on Dark Island that's famous for its stunning setting and mysterious hidden passages. Picture a castle surrounded by water and trees, making it look like something out of a storybook. The castle itself is like a puzzle with secret rooms and corridors waiting to be discovered. Imagine exploring dark tunnels and hidden staircases. Just like in an adventure movie, people visit from all over to see this castle and try to uncover its secrets. It's like being part of a real-life mystery. From the castle, you can see the river stretching out in every direction. It's a peaceful and beautiful sight. Inside, the rooms are filled with old-fashioned furniture and decorations. It feels like stepping back in time to a different era. Exploring this castle is like going on a big treasure hunt. 5. Hammond Castle, Gloucester, Massachusetts. Back in the 1920s, a man named John Hayes Hammond Jr. built a castle that looks like it came straight from the Middle Ages. It's perched right by the Atlantic Ocean, giving it a spectacular view of the sea. Inside, the castle is like a museum filled with old things from long ago. Imagine walking through rooms with ancient swords, armor, and other medieval treasures. The architecture of the castle is really something to see. It's like stepping back in time to a world of knights and kings. From the castle's towers, you can see for miles across the ocean. It's a breathtaking sight, especially during sunset. People come from far and wide to see this castle and all its medieval wonders. It's like going on a journey through history. If you ever find yourself near the Atlantic coast, visiting this castle is a must-do. 6. Bishop's Palace, Galveston, Texas. This castle, sometimes called Gresham House, is a famous Victorian building known for its fancy decorations and beautiful stained glass windows. Imagine walking through rooms filled with elegant furniture and luxurious carpets. The detailing on the castle is really impressive. It's like every corner has something special to look at. The stained glass windows are like colorful paintings that light up the rooms. They add to the castle's charm and make it feel even more magical. People love visiting this castle to admire its opulent interiors and intricate designs. It's like stepping into a fairy tale. From the outside, the castle looks like something out of a storybook, with its towers and turrets reaching up to the sky. 7. Aileni Palace, Honolulu, Hawaii. Aileni Palace is really special because it's the only royal palace in the whole United States. It was where the Hawaiian kings and queens lived long ago. Before 1893, the palace was like a royal home for the Hawaiian monarchy. Imagine kings and queens walking through its halls. But sadly, things changed in 1893 when the Hawaiian kingdom was overthrown. The palace's role as a royal residence ended, and it became a symbol of a bygone era. Nowadays, people visit the palace to learn about Hawaiian history and culture. It's like stepping back in time to a different period. The palace is filled with beautiful furniture and decorations from the old days. You can see how royalty used to live in Hawaii. It's a reminder of the island's rich heritage and the stories of the people who once called it home. 8. Castello de Amorosa, Calistoga, California. In Napa Valley, there's a castle that looks like it came from medieval Italy, with its old-style architecture and towers. It's like stepping back to the 13th century. But guess what? This castle isn't just for show. It's also a winery, where they make delicious wine right on the premises. Imagine walking through the castle's halls and tasting different wines. It's like a journey through time and flavor. From the castle, you can see the beautiful vineyards stretching out in every direction. It's a breathtaking sight. People come from all over to visit this castle and experience a taste of Italy right here in California. The castle is like a magical oasis in the heart of wine country, where you can sip wine and feel like you're in another world. As sunlight dances on the castle's stone walls, visitors are enveloped in the ambience of centuries past, surrounded by the aroma of aging barrels and the promise of fine wine. Each sip transports them deeper into the essence of the region, where tradition meets innovation in every bottle. 9. Gillette Castle, East Haddam, Connecticut. In the early 1900s, a famous actor named William Gillette built a castle that sits high above the Connecticut River. Imagine a big, majestic building surrounded by nature. This castle is special because it has its own style of architecture that you won't find anywhere else. It's like a castle from a fairy tale. Around the castle, there are hiking trails where you can explore the beautiful scenery. It's a great place to go for a walk and enjoy the outdoors. From the castle, you can see the river below and the forest stretching out into the distance. It's a peaceful and picturesque view. Inside, the castle is filled with unique features and decorations. It's like stepping into a world of fantasy. People come from all over to visit this castle and see its beauty up close. Perched atop its hill, the castle commands attention, its spires reaching towards the sky in a timeless display of grandeur. As visitors wander through its halls, they are transported to another era, where imagination reigns supreme. 10. South Regina University, Newport, Rhode Island. It's not a real castle. This university campus looks like one because of its old and impressive buildings. One of these buildings, called Ochre Court, is especially fancy and looks like it belongs in France. Even though it's a university, walking around this campus feels like exploring a castle from a storybook. Ochre Court, with its grand architecture, is the main attraction. It's like a piece of France right in the middle of the campus. Students study and learn in these historic buildings, surrounded by beauty and history. The campus is like a small kingdom, where students come to learn and grow. From the outside, the buildings look like they're straight out of a fairy tale, with their towers and turrets reaching for the sky. As the sun sets, casting a golden glow over the majestic structures, one can't help but feel transported to another era. The intricate details of the architecture tell stories of centuries past, inspiring awe and wonder in all who pass through. We hope you've been inspired by the rich history and breathtaking architecture showcased in these magnificent structures. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below to share your thoughts and continue exploring with us.